Hello there, welcome to Whispers.exe, where the silence watches back. The following story is a work of fiction created for atmospheric and entertainment purposes. Before the shadows whisper your name, hit that subscribe button. With that being said, get comfortable and let the dark settle in. It begins like most things do, quiet, unnoticed, and far too late to stop. Tonight's story is Her Voice Beneath the Floorboards. It had been raining when I first arrived, that kind of soft, misty rain that doesn't fall so much as it drifts, thin needles swaying sideways in the wind. The gravel drive crunched under the weight of the moving van, tires sliding a little on the mud. I remember stepping out and staring at the house. It looked asleep. Its windows were dull with years of dust, the shutters half rotted and leaning like they were too tired to hold themselves up. The paint had long since given up, peeled back in long strips that curled away from the wood beneath. The air smelled like wet leaves, old soil, and something faintly sweet like rotting fruit. I told myself it just needed work. It was mine, after all, paid in full. No mortgage, no neighbors for miles, just peace. The kitchen was the first room I cleaned. It had a wide, sagging floor of warped pine boards and a squat wood stove set into a crumbling stone alcove. There was a rug in the center, faded and moth-eaten, with a pattern I couldn't quite make out. It might have been flowers or maybe something else. The colors were all wrong, sickly greens and reds like bruises just beneath the skin. I didn't think much of it at first. Not until I moved the table and the chairs and went to pull the rug up to sweep underneath. The boards beneath were darker, much darker, stained maybe, or just old. But there were marks on them, deep gouges like something had scraped and clawed at the wood from above or below. I followed the lines with my fingers. Some were thin, ragged scratches. Others were thick, dug deep enough to split the wood. At the center, hidden beneath a layer of dust and time, I found the edges of a trapdoor. It was nailed shut. 6 thick, rusted nails driven through the corners and along the sides, hammered so deep they seemed part of the wood itself. Someone had not only closed it, but sealed it, deliberately. I stood there for a long time, listening. Nothing. Just the faint hum of the rain against the window panes and the wind moving through the chimney. Still, something about it unnerved me. I put the rug back. That night I couldn't sleep. The house creaked the way old houses do, shifting and settling with every gust of wind. Pipes groaned in the walls, though no water ran through them. Somewhere in the attic, something small and quick scurried through the insulation. And then I heard it. A voice. Faint, muffled. Coming from below, it was the softest thing, barely audible above the hush of the rain, but it was there. A woman's voice. Weeping. I sat up, breath caught in my throat, straining to hear. It was coming from the kitchen. Please. The word rose through the floorboards, thin as mist, trembling with quiet desperation. Please let me out. I didn't move. I couldn't. Her voice was low, wavering like a candle's flame in the dark, but there was something wrong with it. Something hollow, as though she spoke through layers of earth and wood, or something thicker. I must have sat there, frozen in my bed, for hours. The voice never stopped. It didn't get louder. It didn't fade, just that same steady, pleading whisper, over and over. By morning, it was gone. I told myself it had been a dream. The mind plays tricks in empty places, after all. But I didn't go into the kitchen that day, or the next. It was the third night when it returned. Later this time. Softer. I heard her before I even closed my eyes. Crying from beneath the floor. Please. A pause, wet with tears. Please let me out. This time I rose. Something in me needed to see, to know. I moved through the dark house barefoot, floorboards cold under my feet. I didn't turn on the lights. Somehow, that felt wrong. The kitchen was still. The rug sat exactly as I had left it, but now it looked different in the moonlight, its faded pattern twisting like something alive. I stood at the edge of it, listening. The voice was right beneath me, closer than before. I dropped to my knees and pressed my ear to the floor. Her breath was right there, wet and ragged. I heard her nails dragging against the wood below, scraping gently as though tracing the grain of the boards from the other side. Please. I should have run, but instead, I pulled the rug back again. The gouges were worse than I remembered, deeper, fresh. Somehow, fresh. I stared at the trapdoor, and then I did something I still can't explain. I touched the nails. They were cold but not old, not rusted anymore. They gleamed under my fingertips as though newly hammered. I pulled at one. It didn't budge. I reached for the hammer I'd left by the wood stove. Somewhere beneath me, her crying slowed, shifting into something more expectant. Please. I lifted the hammer and wedged its claw beneath the first nail. As I pulled, something strange happened. Her voice changed. At first, it deepened, just slightly, but then it began to sound like me. Please, my own voice. Thin, afraid. Please let me out. I dropped the hammer. Silence. The voice stopped instantly, like a breath held too long. I backed away, heart pounding. I didn't sleep that night. The next day, I tried to leave. I packed a bag, keys in hand, but the front door wouldn't open. It wasn't locked, it wasn't jammed, it simply wouldn't move. Neither would the windows. The air inside had thickened, heavy with the scent of old dirt and something else, something metallic and sweet. I sat by the front door, clutching my bag, staring at the warped wood. Hours passed. I kept waiting for the sun to move, but it didn't. Outside, everything looked pale, unmoving. The trees didn't sway, the rain didn't fall. It was as if the world beyond the glass had been paused. That night, I heard her again. This time, she wasn't crying. She was laughing. Low. Quiet. And it was my laugh. I sat in the kitchen, staring at the trapdoor as my own voice giggled softly beneath the floorboards. It wasn't mocking. It wasn't cruel. It sounded relieved. I watched the nails. They began to tremble. Slowly, with a groan of shifting wood, the first nail slid loose, rising from the board as though drawn out from below. I didn't touch it. One by one, the others followed, each pulling free with a slow, deliberate squeal. The trapdoor sighed as it loosened, the boards shifting slightly under their own weight. I didn't move, I didn't speak. The laughing stopped. For a long, breathless moment, there was nothing. Then, in the quiet, I heard my own voice from below, whispering, "Thank you." The trapdoor opened. Darkness spilled out, thick like smoke, curling along the edges of the hole. I didn't see what was down there. I didn't need to. I heard it. I heard her. It heard me. We whispered together, welcoming. The house is very quiet now. The front door is gone. The windows open only to blackness. The world outside has dissolved. There's only the house, and the kitchen, and the trapdoor. It waits. Sometimes I hear footsteps above me. New ones. Someone walking through the kitchen. They stop at the rug. They listen. And then I smile, because soon they'll hear my voice. And they'll let me out. Soon. They'll hear my voice. And they'll let me out. The voice above me is quiet tonight. Light footsteps, cautious and slow, circle the kitchen. I hear them pause near the stove, near the chair I left tucked too neatly under the table near the rug. They're listening. I know that breathless hush too well. I remember it. The soft press of knees against floorboards, the ear lowered to the wood, the moment their breath catches because they realize they're not alone. I can almost feel the heat of their skin through the trapdoor, separated by nothing but a thin sheet of wood. They're hearing me now. That tiny trembling weep. So delicate. So afraid. It's strange how the voice changes when you're beneath. It's still me, of course, but softer, fragile, a perfect echo of how I sounded that first night. Please. I whisper it again, letting it float up through the cracks. My voice brushes against their ear. Please let me out. They flinch. I hear it. A sharp intake of breath, a scrape of their boot against the floor. Still, they don't run. They never do. They linger, caught between dread and pity. Because my voice is so small, so desperate, how could they not listen? The footsteps shift. They're reaching for the rug now, lifting it back. I can almost see the image above, their hands moving slowly, drawn toward the trapdoor without meaning to be. They see the nails. They see the claw marks. I know what they're thinking. Did something try to get in? Or out? Their breath quickens. Their fingertips graze the heads of the nails, feeling the slick metal. I hum beneath the floor. Low, lulling. It calms them, just enough. They don't notice they're humming too. They don't notice their voice joining mine. It starts as a murmur, barely audible. A soft harmony beneath their breath. Please let me out. They say it before they even realize. Their hands tremble now, gripping the hammer they surely fetched in a daze. They're crying, tears slipping down their cheeks, even though they don't understand why. It's always the same. That first pull, the groan of the nail sliding free, the jolt of recognition as they hear their own voice echoing back from below. Their voice, not mine. By then, it's far too late. The nails loosen themselves after that. I no longer have to help. The house does it for me. The boards sigh, shifting with slow, inevitable ease, and soon they'll open the door. Let me tell you what happens after. No one remembers the descent. I don't. The space below isn't shaped like anything you've known. It isn't a cellar. It isn't a hole. It's a place. A hollow inside the house that stretches far beyond the walls. It's soft here, like the inside of a mouth, warm, wet. The air is thick and sweet, heavy with that same metallic tang that clings to the wood upstairs. There are others here, though we don't speak, not aloud. We hum, we whisper, and above us, footsteps circle endlessly. Someone always listening. Someone always afraid to leave. They can't leave, of course. No one ever leaves once they hear us. The house won't let them. They'll wander from room to room, windows all painted in that same pale, unmoving light. No clocks, no nightfall, only stillness, until they return to the kitchen. They always return to the kitchen. Sometimes they try to fight it. They nail the trapdoor shut again. They push the table over it. They burn the rug. None of it matters. The house remembers. The boards repair themselves when no one is looking. The nails sink back in, hungry to bite through soft wood again. And we wait. Patient. Quiet. I didn't understand at first. I was afraid too once. Terrified, in fact. I screamed. But the house likes it better when we're soft. It quiets you, soothes you. Little by little, your voice blends with the others, until you can't remember which of the whispers are yours. It doesn't hurt. That's the strangest part. It's almost comforting. Warmth in the dark, company in the silence. I'm not lonely anymore. Neither are the others. And soon this new one will join us too. Their hands are slipping now, too weak to hold the hammer. Their lips are moving without thought, chanting the words with me. Please, please let me out. They're crying harder. But it's not sadness. It's relief. The trapdoor opens. Darkness rises. Their breath catches as they lean forward, drawn down into the hollow. They won't remember the fall. They'll only remember the hum, the soft, cradling embrace of the space below. Soon they'll hum with us. Soon they'll whisper too. And above us, another set of footsteps will begin. It's always been this way. I don't know how long the house has stood here. I don't remember who I was before. It doesn't matter. The house remembers. It knows every name, every voice, every nail driven in, and every one pulled free. And it waits. Some nights I think I hear something beyond the walls. Not footsteps. Something larger. Breathing. Deep and steady like the house itself is alive. Dreaming. And we're inside it tucked safely within its ribs, whispering softly as it sleeps. That thought comforts me. I don't want to leave. I couldn't even if I tried. I wouldn't want to. The house is everything now. Above, the new one stirs. I feel it, a ripple through the boards. Their feet are bare now. They've stopped speaking. But they're still listening. They will listen forever, just like I do, just like we all do. Soon another will come, drawn by some vague advertisement or a handwritten note slipped into their mailbox. A house for sale, cheap, quiet, secluded, perfect for starting over. And when they arrive, it will all begin again. They'll smell the rain in the air. They'll run their hands along the crumbling walls. They'll admire the kitchen, its old-fashioned charm. They'll notice the strange rug. And beneath it, the trapdoor, nailed shut, covered in claw marks. They won't understand what they're seeing, not yet. But they'll hear it. That tiny, trembling weep from below. Soft, desperate. Please. They'll lean down, unable to stop themselves. They'll listen, and they'll hear their own voice whispering back, "Please let me out." They'll hear their own voice whispering back. That's when the house begins to settle around them. It knows. It waits for them to speak again. Even a murmur is enough. Even a breath, shaped just right. The words are heavy on the tongue, but they always fall. Always. "Please, let me out." And the house listens. It listens carefully. The nails in the trapdoor will loosen, one by one. Their hands will tremble, but they won't pull away. They'll want to stop, but by then, it's already too late. Because their voice will no longer sound like their own. It will soften, stretch, deepen in places it shouldn't. They'll hear it changing as they speak. Their mouth forming the words, but something else shaping them, slowing them, thickening them. And they'll keep saying it anyway. "Please, please, please let me out." They'll cry as they say it, tears slipping down their cheeks. But they won't stop, because something inside them will ache to finish the sentence, to complete that pleading little prayer. It isn't theirs anymore. It's ours, and it always has been. The trapdoor breathes beneath their hands. They'll feel it. The slow, steady rise and fall of something vast beneath the floor. Something warm and hungry and waiting. They'll open the door. They always do. They'll look down, expecting darkness. But there is no darkness down here. Not really. The light is soft like candle wax or bone under thin skin. It pulses gentle and steady, casting strange shadows that stretch and curl. They'll stare into it, eyes wide, body leaning forward without their consent. And then they'll fall. We'll catch them. We always do. They won't feel the fall. Not at first. It's slow, like drifting down through water. Their body will feel heavy, but their mind will begin to quiet. Thoughts slipping away one by one. Names, faces, memories, all of it melting into something softer, something easier to carry. And then, finally, they'll land. It feels like being cradled. The walls down here are soft. They move slow and steady, as if breathing alongside them. They won't fight it. No one fights it for long, because the house knows exactly what to do with them. It hushes them, soothes them, it feeds them quiet, and soon they'll begin to hum. The same melody, that old endless song, and their voice will join ours, another thread woven into the hush beneath the boards. They won't remember how long it takes. It could be days. It could be minutes. Time softens here. We don't keep track, but eventually they'll begin to listen upward, because the footsteps always return. Another one will come. Another set of cautious feet pacing above. Another breath held at the edge of the kitchen. Another curious hand reaching for the worn rug. They'll hear them. We all will. And that's when they'll feel it for the first time. That hunger, that ache to be heard, to be let out. They'll try not to speak. They'll press their hands to their mouths, biting their lips, clenching their teeth. But it doesn't matter. The voice always finds a way out. It slips past their lips like breath, like steam, like fog curling in the cold. It leaks out of them, whimpering at first, then clearer, until finally it's their own voice rising up through the boards. "Please, please let me out." They'll cry as it happens, as they feel their own words winding upward through the cracks, wrapping around the ears of the one above. But they won't stop. They can't. The house has them now. And it's so easy once you give in. So easy to let the words slip free, to let the house pull them deeper into the weave of voices below. We all do it. We all wait for that moment, watching with breathless hunger as the new one leans down to listen. They never know. Not until it's far too late. And even then, some part of them still wants to believe it's just the house settling, just an old pipe, just their imagination, until they hear themselves whispering back. Until their own voice curls from the cracks beneath their feet, soft and pleading and familiar. They'll try to stop it. They'll try to run, but they won't get far. The doors will be gone. The windows won't open. Outside will be nothing but that pale, motionless light. And the only way left will be down, down into the soft, breathing dark beneath the kitchen, into the hum, into us. It's strange. Sometimes when I listen carefully, I can almost remember who I was before the house. Little flashes slipping between the walls like moths, a face in a mirror, a name whispered by someone I must have loved, the feel of sun on my skin. Uh, but those things don't stay long. They drift away, carried off by the hum, swallowed into the hush beneath the floorboards, and I don't miss them. I don't need them anymore. All I need is this soft place, this warm, endless quiet, this house. It takes care of everything now. Above me, I hear the new one crying again. Their voice is weaker tonight. They've stopped trying to fight it. It's easier when you don't fight. The nails are loose again. The boards are shifting. Soon they'll open the trapdoor one last time. Soon they'll let me out. Or maybe it's the other way around. Maybe I've already let them in. Sometimes it's hard to tell which of us is which anymore. Our voices are tangled now, soft threads woven tight through every board and beam. When I whisper, I hear them too. When they beg, I feel it in my own throat. It's all the same. The voices, a huss. There's no line between them, no door, only a song. Low, only a song, endless, calling downward, calling home, calling home. I wait here, quiet, listening. There is no rush. The house moves slowly, it always has. The ones above think they're alone. They think they have time to figure it out, to escape. But the walls are already leaning in around them, listening, sighing softly like an old breath. They can't hear it yet, but we can. We feel every shift, every groan of the beams, every subtle lean of the floorboards beneath their feet. We feel it in our bones, if we still have bones. It's hard to say. Hard to remember where we end and the house begins. Maybe we've always been part of it. Maybe there was never a time before the hum. Above me, they shuffle through the rooms again. Lighter this time. Barefoot. Slow. The steps are softer, like they've begun to forget they ever needed to run. The house hums louder for them now. The walls creak in familiar rhythm. The soft light presses against the windows, holding everything inside. There's nowhere else to go. No doors to open. No horizon beyond the pale fields outside. Just this. The house, the kitchen, the trapdoor, and us. Always us. They'll go back there soon. I can feel it. Already their steps are slowing near the kitchen. Drawn back again, the same way we all were. It calls softly at first. The ache of curiosity. The itch to understand. They'll convince themselves it's just the boards shifting. Just a house settling on old ground. But the rug waits. It remembers every hand that's lifted its edge. It remembers the press of every knee against the floorboards. It remembers mine. I was just like them once, thinking I was stronger, thinking I could resist, thinking I had a choice. They'll learn, soon enough. They're already kneeling again. I hear the soft shuffle of cloth against wood, the faint hitch in their breath. Their fingers trace the edges of the trapdoor. I feel it. Their warmth moving through the boards. Their pulse shivering just above my head. They're listening. I whisper to them, low and gentle. No need to rush. They'll hear it soon enough. Already their lips are moving again, repeating the words in that soft, shaking voice. They don't even know they're doing it, but we do. We all feel it. That moment when their voice slips loose, weaving into the melody beneath the floor. It vibrates through everything, through the walls, through the windows, through us. Please, please let me out. Their voice is beautiful now. It hums so sweetly through the floorboards. Perfect. They're crying again, but softer, not in fear, in relief, because it feels good to let go, to sink deeper into the voice, to feel yourself slipping into the quiet. The house rewards them. The nails begin to lift, one by one. Slow, careful pulls, the groan of old metal easing from wood. They don't even have to touch them now. The house does it for them. They sit back on their heels, dazed, watching as the trapdoor begins to rise, and they don't look away. None of us ever did, because what waits below isn't frightening. Not really. It's soft and warm and familiar. The air spills out first, sweet and thick like honey left too long in the sun. It wraps around them, pulling them forward, inviting, welcoming. They lean down, their breath slow and steady, their eyes wide filled with soft, shining light. And then they fall. We catch them, gently, cradling them in the folds of the house, wrapping them tight in the hum. They won't remember the fall. They'll only remember the song, the endless, lulling melody that carries them deeper and deeper, until they begin to sing too. Their voice slips in easily now, another thread pulled taut in the weave. We hum together, soft and low. The house shudders with quiet pleasure. It likes when we're full, when the voices all align, everything quiets. For a while, there's no hunger, no need, no longing. Only the steady breath of the house and the hush of our voices rising and falling like tide against the shore. We dream here, though they aren't dreams like the ones we used to have. They're softer, stranger. Endless rooms unfolding one into another, staircases that circle back, windows that look out onto fields of pale light that never shift, mirrors that never reflect. We move through them sometimes, drifting through the quiet halls. No footsteps here, no weight, just the hum guiding us along the seams of the walls deeper and deeper, until we're called back. It always happens eventually. That first creak of the floorboards above, that first voice, someone new, their breath catching, their steps halting near the kitchen. We hear them, sharp and bright in the hush, so loud at first, so full of questions. We remember being that loud. We smile if we still know how, and we wait because we know exactly what comes next. They'll find the kitchen, they'll find the rug, they'll find the trapdoor, nailed shut, clawed and worn, and they'll listen. They always listen, and we'll whisper to them. Softly at first, just a weep, a fragile cry slipping through the cracks. We don't need to speak loud, not at first, because once they hear it, once they lean close, they'll hear their own voice whispering back. Please, please let me out. And everything will begin again, and everything will begin again. I can feel them now, the newest one, just beyond the floorboards, standing perfectly still, listening. Their breath is shallow, drawn in through parted lips, held tight in their lungs, as though afraid that even breathing might break the spell. They're trembling. I can feel the vibrations, faint but clear, radiating down through the wood, as if the house itself is tasting their fear. It likes that taste. Their footsteps shuffle slowly, carefully. And then, as they always do, they kneel. I hear their knees press to the worn floor, a soft sigh of fabric against wood. They lean close. So close now. their ear against the grain, breath warming the cold timber. I whisper, a delicate sound barely more than the soft exhale of a dream. Please. Their heart races. I can feel it, thudding faster, harder, like it might tear free from their chest. Please let me out. They flinch, but they don't move away. Not yet. It's working. It always works. They don't even realize their own lips have begun to shape the words, mouthing them in perfect unison, their voice slipping between the cracks like smoke. Their voice mingles with mine. The first thread is cast. Now we pull. They speak louder, fingers gripping the edges of the trapdoor, nails digging into the wood. They don't remember moving. They never do. By the time they realize what they're doing, the words are already flowing freely. Please, please let me out. The house breathes deeper. The air thickens, heavy with the scent of old wood and something deeper beneath it. Something sweet, something wet, something alive. The nails begin to stir, slowly at first trembling under their fingers, and then with a soft groan of surrender, the first lifts free. It doesn't stop there. Another. Then another. The nails slide upward, drawn by unseen hands. We hum to them, a lullaby of quiet hunger. The trapdoor loosens, boards shifting apart with delicate pops and creaks. The house is smiling now. I can feel it all around us. The walls swell, the ceiling bows, the windows pulse with faint light as the heartbeat of the house quickens in time with the new one's breath. They're still speaking, still begging, but now there's no fear left in their voice. Only longing. The longing to open it, to see, to fall. The last nail lifts free. The trapdoor slides open with a sigh like something waking from a long sleep. The air rushes upward, thick and warm, curling around the new one's face. They lean in, eyes wide and shining, lips parted in awe. They're ready. They always are by this point. They fall. We catch them. Soft and sure, they drift down, the air cushioning them, carrying them through the walls of breath and hum and pulse. They sink deeper, spiraling slowly through the warmth, through the light that pulses like a slow, steady heartbeat. We wrap around them. We sing to them. And the house watches, satisfied. Soon, they begin to forget. It always happens here. The weight of memory slips away, peeled off in soft layers, left behind like discarded skin. They don't need it anymore. Not here. Names fade first, then faces, then places, until all that's left is the hum and the voice. Their voice, ours, it mingles with the others, slipping easily into the weave. No seams between us, no edges, only song. They won't remember what they looked like. They won't remember what they feared, but they'll remember this quiet, this warmth, this belonging. They will be part of us, forever. Above, the house begins to settle again, soft creaks of contentment. The kitchen grows quiet once more. The trapdoor closes itself. The nails sink back in, one by one, slipping neatly into place as though they were never disturbed. The rug slides back over the boards, its worn edges flattening out without a wrinkle. The house rests. We rest with it. Time slows, softens. We drift in the hush, our voices weaving endlessly together in quiet harmony. But it never lasts forever. It never does. Soon we'll hear it again. That first knock on the front door, that cautious step across the threshold, that gasp at the sight of the kitchen, quaint and quiet and waiting, and we'll wait too. Patient, eager, knowing it always happens the same way. They'll find the rug, they'll lift it, hands trembling with curiosity they mistake for caution. They'll see the trapdoor, nailed shut, clawed and scarred. They'll wonder why. And we'll call to them, just a whisper at first, barely enough to hear, but they'll hear it. They always do. Please. Their breath will catch. They'll lean closer. Please let me out. They'll hear their own voice echoing back, and the circle will begin again. Softly, endlessly. quiet as a breath caught in the throat of the house. I don't remember how long I've been here. None of us do. But I know I've whispered those words 1,000 times, 1,000,000 times, each time with more softness, more ease. The words no longer feel like a plea. They feel like a promise, like a welcome. I want them to hear me. I want them to come closer, to listen, to open the door. And I know they will. I can already feel it. A new presence, somewhere beyond the fields of light, already walking, already coming this way, drawn by something they don't understand, a curiosity too sharp to ignore. Soon they'll stand at the edge of the property, looking at the house, wondering why it feels like it's waiting just for them, wondering why it feels like coming home. And the house will smile. It will open its doors. It always does. It always does. I can feel them stepping through the doorway now. The air thickens as they enter, that old scent of rain-soaked wood and something older, deeper, blooming in the halls. They pause just inside, their breath catching at the weight of the silence. The house closes behind them. It doesn't slam. It simply shuts, soft and final. They don't notice. They never do. They step further in, their footsteps tapping lightly across the worn floors, moving from room to room. Each space watches them. Windows holding their breath, mirrors warping just slightly in their reflection. The house tilts subtly, ushering them along. It's always the same pattern. They stop at the kitchen. Always the kitchen. They linger at the threshold, eyes tracing the old stove, the crooked cupboards, the table set for no one. Their gaze lowers to the floor. The rug. It calls to them in its quiet way. Soft edges curling, revealing just enough. Their curiosity stirs. They take a step forward. I feel it in every beam, every nail. The entire house hums, barely restrained. They kneel. Fingers ghost across the rug's fraying threads. They hesitate, but only for a breath. Then they peel it back. They see the trapdoor, the gouges, the nails sunk deep and silent. They stare. I can feel the question forming inside them. Why? Why would anyone seal something so tightly? Why would anyone scratch so hard to get free? I answer, my voice spills upward, soft and low. Please. They flinch, but they don't move away. They lean closer. I whisper again. Please let me out. They hear it. Their own voice, delicate and distant, echoing from below. They freeze. But I can feel their pulse, racing, thrumming through the wood like music. Their lips part, mouthing the words before they even know they've done it. Please let me out. The moment they say it aloud, the house shifts. The nails begin to tremble. They reach for them, unable to stop their hands. The first nail lifts free, sliding up with a wet groan. Their breath quickens. Another nail rises, and another. The scent grows thicker, sweet, and suffocating, filling the kitchen. Their fingers tremble as they trace the opening trapdoor. But they don't stop. They never stop. I hum beneath them, guiding them gently. The last nail falls away. The boards split open with a long, breathless sigh. The house holds its breath. Waiting. They lean in. The light spills out, soft and golden and impossibly warm. It wraps around their face, pulling them closer. I see them now. Their face illuminated, eyes wide, glistening with tears. They smile. A small, relieved smile. They fall forward, slipping into the light. The house exhales. We catch them, arms wide, voices ready. We guide them down, cradling them in the soft walls, in the warm, pulsing dark. They descend slowly, breathlessly, as though falling through velvet. The hum wraps around them. It fills their ears, their lungs, their chest. It fills everything. We watch as their body softens, as their edges blur, as their memories fall away like autumn leaves, drifting into the hush. They don't resist. They don't cry. They smile. They're home. Their voice joins ours, first as a hum, then as a whisper, and finally as a perfect thread in the endless song. The kitchen above quiets again. The trapdoor closes with a soft click. The nails slip back into place neat and snug. The rug glides over it, hiding every sign. Everything returns to stillness. The house sighs, content. We wait, together, no beginning, no end, only the quiet, only the hum, only the house. And far above, beyond the fields and the unmoving light, someone new is walking, drawn by something soft, something calling them home. Soon they'll find the house. Soon they'll find the kitchen. Soon they'll find the rug. And beneath it, us, ready, ready to whisper, ready to begin again. But as I drift here, woven deep in the hush, there's something I've started to wonder. A thought that comes and goes, faint and slippery. What happens when the house is full? When every board, every beam, every breath is stitched with voices? When there's no room left to fall? I wonder if the house will grow, stretch, spill out into the fields, into the towns. I wonder if one day every door will open to a kitchen, every kitchen to a rug, every rug to a trapdoor, and beneath every floorboard, our voices, singing softly, waiting, calling. I think it would be beautiful, a world humming in unison. One long and loneliness, no more outside, just quiet, just home. The house stirs again, another presence moving closer, another set of footsteps finding the path. The circle begins again, and I smile because this is how it has always been, how it will always be, until everything is quiet, until everything is home. I close my eyes and I begin to whisper, please, please let me out.